Welcome to r/Am I the Asshole, where Opie is tired of being the therapist to her husband's best friend's wife. Our first Reddit post today is from a user 1F, early 30s. Recently cut off a friend Rachel, also early 30s. She's married to Mark, who's been my husband Ethan's best friend for years. Because of that, Rachel and I were basically tied together socially for over a decade. Over the years, Rachel vented to me a lot about her marriage. I always tried to be supportive, but I'll admit sometimes I got overwhelmed and said things like she was word vomit. Looking back, maybe that wasn't kind, but it was how I felt at the time. From my perspective, the friendship became very one-sided. Whenever I checked in on her, she'd get defensive. If I asked about her marriage, which she had vented to me about many times, she'd accuse me of being disrespectful. She has told me I made things about myself when she just wanted to vent and that she felt I judged her. From her perspective, I think she feels like I didn't really listen, that I wasn't a safe space for her, and that she felt disrespected by me for a long time, though she's never given me specific examples. The breaking point came when, after another fight from them both, Rachel and Mark started venting to us. A week later, I reached out and asked how things were, and she rudely stated it was between her and Mark. After years of frustration, I had enough and expressed how I was tired of being the therapist to them and then be treated like a villain. She told me that hurt people, and she was going to dim herself down for anyone. Another week went by with no contact. However, our friend group was getting together at our house. Again, this is my husband's best friend, so they were invited. When they came in, she acted like nothing happened. Came in for a hug, and I told her I was still a little upset. I said this quietly to her, not in front of anyone else. They left for an unrelated reason after that. But before leaving, Mark came back into our house and in front of everyone started saying I was wrong for saying this to his wife and I kicked him out. We exchanged texts the next day when Rachel said she no longer wants to be my friend and unfriended me off all social media. Since then, Mark hasn't spoken to Ethan at all, which has made things even more awkward. On top of that, Rachel and Mark have been telling our other friends that I am trying to steal their friends away, which isn't true. Now I'm stuck wondering, was I wrong for ending things this way? Should I have kept trying for the sake of keeping the peace? Or was cutting it off healthier in the long run? Alright, let's see if Opie is the asshole. First of all, why are these two always fighting? This is something that should be brought up to Mark and Rachel, not Opie. Opie and her husband are literally the side characters in this story. They are there to support the main character, which is Rachel. So yeah, this is a bit weird. It's actually pretty common for couples to go to their friends for advice and emotional support. So Opie and Ethan aren't really doing anything wrong by being good friends to Rachel and Mark. And yeah, Opie did say some things that could be considered rude, but she did invite Rachel and Mark over. And this is a good opportunity for Opie to express her feelings. However, I do think this is a big enough deal for Opie to completely end her friendship with Rachel. Maybe Opie could have tried to be a bit nicer and understand that Rachel just needs someone to talk to, especially since she's been married for a long time. This definitely could have been handled better. Opie should have talked to Rachel privately about her concerns instead of kicking out Mark during a party. Also, it seems like Rachel and Mark are taking this friendship breakup very hard, like to the point where they're gaslighting Opie and ruining her reputation. So I think Opie is justified here because Rachel and Mark are acting like this is a huge problem, when in reality it's not that deep. So I think Opie is not the asshole here.